Okay. Better drop another link.
Yep. I'm gonna drop another link. I'm gonna send it in DM. Second one. All right.
Okay. Should be fine, yeah?
Yeah, should be fine now. But we shall see if it's truly fine. Where'd my phone go? There it is. Alright, boys and girls. Man, this was a little bit of an experience trying to get this stream up and going. But guess what? It's happening now. I was scared for a second there. Sorry, Saber. What's up? What's good, Noodles? We do a little trolling. PJ, Noodles smells like beans. You smell like fucking beans. What's up, Lay? What's up, Jabez? What's up, Shido? What's up, Rice? What's up, Lucids? One time Surfbone is gone and everything messes up. Yeah, I mean, that's just how it is. Listen, we got the replacement. We got Cyboshi. He's the new owner of Surfbone server, and the time being, Surfbone's gone. And he's also going to be helping me on my YouTube. I actually am going to link both his Twitter and the Discord he's running down below. It's Surfbone's old Discord, if you didn't know. He's the current owner of it. But yeah, go check out Cyboshi. He's going to be helping me poop on Happy's forehead today. So I hope you guys are excited for that. Noodles watches Greg Doucette. Yeah, I actually do watch Greg Doucette. I watch tons of like old bodybuilding YouTubers. I've watched More Plates, More Dates. I watch a bunch of UFC stuff like that. I mean, just kind of like what I do. What's up, Jack?
I only got as far as UFC.
Yeah. I mean, you'd like the other stuff too, I'm sure, if you actually watched it. But yeah, UFC's good.
UFC's good enough for me.
Nate, why'd you let everything break, man? Well, you're supposed to be the mod here. You're supposed to protect me from stream malfunctions, but like my roommate said, wouldn't be a good stream if we didn't have mess ups. Ain't that right? Ain't that right? Yeah. Noodles is a very handsome individual, of course. Showering is a trend. That's true. Cappy hacked the stream. Yeah, his name is Cappy. Do you like John Jones? I like his fighting style. I don't know if I like him as a person, you know, considering he likes to lay hands on his sparring partner, his wife, you know. What's up, Wild Ananas? Hello. Noodles Alpha or Sigma. It doesn't matter. I'm both. Lask, I finally joined your Discord. I'm a caveman with it, but I'll learn the ropes. Alright, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Already got 57 people in here. It's a
learning experience.
Yeah, it is a learning experience. If Cyboshi wasn't here, the stream would have went, smoothly. But since he decided to come in and ruin everything, we had to restart 3 times.
The fact that I'm like your tech guy. I think I might need to.
No. We can talk about it at another time. How's the audio sound now? What's good, Westether? What's up, Noodles? Chi-Chi 1997 here. Okay, you born in 1997? Gara video win, bro? At some point, there will most definitely be a Gara video. He'll probably be the first of the 5 Kage that actually do a video on, just because of how slept he's on. Cyber 100. Alright, we already got 64 people in here. I don't really have to explain what this video is about. You guys already know what this video is about. For such a short video, it's only 15 minutes long, but I have a lot to say. Me and Cyboshi actually watched the video last night. We wrote some notes down. And oh boy, it actually took us a little bit. But yeah, this will be our second time watching it. Yeah, you ready to do this, Cyboshi?
Of course.
I
want to talk about this stupid shit.
Are you ready, stream? Get some hype in the chat. It's Cappy debunk time. Alright, let's do this.
Let's talk about the
Multiversal
Naruto
you gotta do the
meta where
Bruce
people...
Buffer. It's time, Noodles.
It's time. The main event.
People are putting him up against
Good
Goku
enough.
or against Infinity Gauntlet Thanos. He's competing with the big boys now. At
Competing
least
with
that's
Thanos?
what's implied
No.
from getting the
No, he's not.
Naruto to a multiversal level. Let's dive into some of the reasons why Naruto can be considered or is consistently argued to be universal.
Sasuke then remarks that although he can teleport using his Rinnegan, he can only do so over finite distance.
So Sasuke can use the Rinnegan to teleport finite distances, but this was when he was a teenager, so when he becomes an adult, he eventually gets more proficient with it, but we'll watch where they're going with this.
That's cool, but that doesn't have to do with anything. We're not talking about adult Sasuke. We're talking about teen
Oh,
Sasuke.
people stream on Discord.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Man, Cyboshi, you're ruining everything today.
I was trying to watch the YouTube stream, but it's delayed. All right.
All right, here you go. My bad. There.
Okay.
All right, we just got to the part where he's talking about Sasuke or whatever. Would have not
Yeah.
been able to do so, implying that the distance between each realm was infinite rather than finite.
So this is a key point here, that Kaguya's dimensions are infinite distance. And the reasoning for that is because Sasuke could only travel a finite distance. First of all, we know this is contradicted because all jutsu is connected to the user. So certain people...
Okay, so for one, he says all jutsu
First of all, we know
is
this is
connected to the
contradicted
user,
because all...
but then he types all dimensions are connected to the user. So, for one, both of those statements are wrong. No, not all jutsu is connected to the users. I don't even know what that means. And all dimensions are connected to the users. I'm guessing he's talking about like people that can teleport using space-time ninjutsu, since he's showing the scan of B talking about that. But
Jutsu is
let's
connected
see
to
what
the
let's
user.
let's
So
read the scan
certain
that he
people
posts.
can teleport to their own dimensions. Second,
Hold on, let's listen to that
jutsu
again.
is connected to the only travel a finite distance. First of all, we know this is contradicted because all jutsu is connected to the user. So certain people can teleport to their own dimensions.
Dog.
God damn it, Noodles.
All right. This for one, he's making a non-point that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But look at the scan he says. It's the Eight Tails talking about teleportation in jutsu when he's looking at Kakashi and Obito, because they're both like using the Kamui, and he says, "Are all teleportation in jutsu linked between all users?" And then if you look in the very next scan, Kakashi says, "No, that's not the case. I suspect it's just him and me." Because they're not, it doesn't mean all jutsu are connected to each other. All teleportation in jutsu are connected. Kakashi's Kamui is not connected to the Flying Thunder God, right? It's just that they're both using Kamui and they don't know Obito's identity yet, and they don't know that he's actually using Kamui yet. They just don't know that, they just don't know. It's dumb. Like, I don't even know. He didn't even read the scan he's trying to use to debunk me. And I don't even know why, if all teleportation ninjutsu was connected to each other, why that would debunk what I'm saying anyway. Sasuke's teleportation ninjutsu, by the way, it has nothing to do with Kamui. Absolutely zero things to do with Kamui. So I don't know why he's saying that.
Yeah, that's not even like a relation there.
Yeah, exactly.
Jutsu is connected to the user. So certain people
All teleportation ninjutsu are connected to the user. Literally next panel.
can teleport to their own dimensions. Secondly, this is also contradicted because after sealing Kaguya, Sasuke himself teleports to Kaguya's dimension only to find Kinshiki and Momoshiki at Kaguya's palace. So it's not infinite, he just didn't have access to her dimension, or...
Dog, that just sounds like Sasuke learned to, teleport to Kaguya's dimension when he previously couldn't, right? And that could be because he learned to teleport infinite distance.
Yeah, it's almost like the stronger, better Sasuke could just teleport way farther than his previous self,
Yeah, literally. Like, almost like, and
at least understand how to teleport to other dimensions.
Teen Sasuke, inexperienced with the Rinnegan, eventually learns to teleport to her dimensions, but he couldn't in Shippuden. Yeah, he gets better at teleporting and gets stronger later.
Like, it's not in to Kaguya's dimension, only to find Kinshiki and Momoshiki at Kaguya's palace. So it's not infinite, he just didn't have access to her dimension, or at least understand how to teleport to other dimensions like he learned how to in Boruto.
Yeah, he specifically says he can't access her dimension because he can only teleport over finite distances. That's the reason he can't teleport there.
The reason that Sasuke was able to perceive any of the limbo clones was because of that Rinnegan, and it's not because of the Sharingan. So let's just clarify that, because earlier in the video, right, we also saw...
I know, that was literally the argument I made in the video, was that he couldn't see the limbo clones with his Mangekyo, which can perceive all things in the universe. So that idea is that the Mangekyo can't see them, but the Rinnegan can, meaning the Rinnegan can see things outside of the universe. I literally support this in the video with like 2 other arguments as well, with the Rinnegan being able to see chakra going outside of Momoshiki's dimension and things like that. So, yeah, this is supporting the arguments I made in the video.
A bit of discussion here. So he goes to explain that the kanji that was used to translate heaven and earth is also used for universe, which
That's not what I said at all.
is tenchi. All things in the universe.
Man, hold on.
Or a bit of discussion here. So he goes to explain that the kanji that was used to translate heaven and earth is also used for universe, which is tenchi. All things in the universe, that was apparently tenchi.
No, I never said that tenchi was in the scan. All I said was, in the video, that tenchi in Japanese means both heaven and earth and the universe. And it does. It does mean that. So, I'm not saying tenchi's in the panel. All I'm saying is that heaven and earth can be referred to as the universe. And we see this in like other forms of media as well. Like when God created the heavens and the earth, a lot of people interpret that as him creating the universe. And we know that's what they're talking about in this panel because they say that in this title. And then later on down the page, they can see that the heavenly eyes can see all things in the universe. So the fact that they say that it grasps the inner workings of heaven and earth and it can see all things in the universe means that by heaven and earth, they mean the universe.
It just means that Kishimoto here is just also referring to universe when he also says heaven and earth.
I never said that tenchi was in the panel, though. So that's just a lie and a straw man of the position I made.
But the actual panel never uses tenchi once. Like, this was just a blatant lie. Like,
how's it a lie when I never said it was in the panel?
It was never there.
Yeah, I never said that. You're blatantly lying about what I said. Go back and listen to what I said in the video. I literally say, the kanji tenchi in Japanese refers to heaven and earth and the universe. I never said the kanji tenchi is in this panel. I specifically say when certain panels use certain kanji. You'll see me say that in the video, but I knew that tenchi wasn't in this panel because I had asked for a translation before the video even started. I knew that they used I don't remember the name of the kanji in it, but they still do refer to the universe in the panel. It's just they don't use tenchi. I was just using tenchi as an example of something that can refer to both heaven and earth and the universe. It's just to show consistency that this can make sense.
Think about it for a second. The same guy who pronounces kamui as chamoy, or kamoi.
Worlds by activating his kamui.
Which is, I don't know, sounds like some sort of sauce. Are you really going to trust his level of Japanese? Notice that...
Yeah, the fact that he has to go on about the pronunciation of it really just says like he doesn't really actually have an answer to the argument. He didn't listen to the video. Yeah, it doesn't matter how you pronounce Kamui. I don't know where you get.
That's just how everyone pronounced Kamui too. Like I'm sorry, I'm not a nerd that actually speaks Japanese.
All right, Noodles, we gotta say it. We gotta say it as Kamui for the rest of the video.
Kamui. Yeah, we're gonna say Kamui. Yeah, if anyone has an accent, by the way, you're just discredited. You got a southern accent? Sorry, buddy, you pronounce things weird. Your arguments are gone. I hate to say it, bro.
Kamui.
Yeah, you got a French accent? Well, that sucks. That sucks. You mispronouncing stuff, man. Yeah, pronunciation doesn't change the meaning of the words. Okay, it's just how you sound. Pronunciation is kind of subjective anyway. You can pronounce things whatever way you want. There is no objective pronunciation of things. People just have a common pronunciation of things. And by the way, the common pronunciation of kamui is exactly how I said it. I didn't say chamui.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck he's getting chamui.
Yeah, chamui. Like, I did not say chamui. That's how we're going to say chamui for the rest of the video.
Didn't show the actual or the real Japanese panel of the data book, so no one can call him out here.
I never said it was in the Japanese panel. And why would I show the Japanese panel when my audience doesn't speak Japanese? Like,
I know, so you can speak Japanese, yeah?
Yeah, like... Yeah, sorry I didn't put the Japanese panel
there. What about the rest of you guys? You guys read that? What does that say?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Go ahead and read that off for me since, you clearly can... Everyone should just be able to read Japanese.
Who's going to bother checking this? Oh, before we look at the actual Japanese... Can we just point out that he says this?
Grasp the inner workings of heaven and earth is temptatious.
Here he is trying to give a translation of Japanese to English. But he just read this as Earth is a temptatious. Tempestuous. That's tempestuous.
Temptatious. Well, I have a thing for you, Happy. When you read a 9-page script, all in one take, 1 or 2 takes, you know, you tend to stumble over some words. That happens sometimes, okay? And by the way, the important part of the scan isn't the tempestuous part. It's the grasp the workings of heaven and earth. That's the important part. It has nothing to do with the rest. The rest of the panel doesn't even really matter that much, or the rest of that sentence doesn't matter that much. So,
and you also throw the panel up there anyway. So
yeah, like you can read it. Like you don't. It's not that big of a deal. Hi, sweet kitty.
Mans can't even read English. Anyways, let's look at the Japanese. So the big bold letters going down the side here says Tenjo no kotowari o shoaku seshi hitomi, which means the heavenly eyes that see the truth of all creation without obstruction.
Oh,
all right,
boy.
let's take a look at this. All right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It says sees the truth of all things and of all things / creation. You know, just what is creation again? You know, is that just like everything? You know.
Yeah, like,
like the universe,
the heavenly eyes that can see the truth of all things or creation without obstruction. So you're telling me that these eyes can see all of creation, or the truth of all of creation? Wow. Almost like I was right. It's kind of crazy that this definition or this translation that you gave to me actually proves the point I'm making. Ain't that crazy? Isn't it crazy that I actually read the panels and make sure the translations are right? Like, I double check translations. You can even see in the video when I double check translations and correct when the translations are wrong in the English. Wow, it's almost like, you know, I actually do cross-reference these things.
Nah, shut up, Noodles.
Yeah, Chamoy. My bad, guys. Sorry.
See the truth of all creation without obstruction. So this is Tenjo, and it says heaven and earth. As you can see, that first 2 kanji is the same as the one we just looked up, Tenjo, heaven and earth. So what usually happens is when you combine kanji together, the meaning changes. Just like certain words in context have another meaning. So if I said something in English like, that cost me an arm and a leg, I'm trying to say that this is expensive, right? Similar to this. It's not that Itachi can see everything in the universe. Otherwise, Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan vision should be greater than Ada's in the current...
Okay.
This is a 1.5 right here.
So, for one, the whole analogy thing that cost me an arm and a leg, right? That's a hyperbolic statement. And we know that's a hyperbolic statement because there's context to suggest it's hyperbolic, right? Like, if you say, this item I purchased cost me an arm and a leg, but you still have your arm and your leg... That's proof that it's an exaggeration. It's contradicted. There's a contradiction that shows that you're exaggerating. If I'm sitting here in Tennessee where I live, right, and I say it's so cold outside, there's polar bears. There's no polar bears in Tennessee, right? It's obvious. It's an exaggeration. There's some context that suggests there's an exaggeration. What's the context that suggests this statement is an exaggeration? Where's the context? Where's the contradiction? Because that's what I need. He's going to point out Ada here in a second, but we'll get into that can of worms in a minute. But yeah, like, this has nothing to, like, that analogy has nothing to do with the Sasuke being able to see all things in the universe. You want to go over, like, the whole, like, what the purpose of the data book even is, Cyboshi?
Yeah, like, you know, in comparison to the analogy, which is, you know, a hyperbole. You know, data books are just there to give further explanation outside of the primary source, you know, to provide more evidence or more of an explanation for how stuff worked that they didn't have time to explain in the manga. So it's just a statement of what is.
Yeah, it's
versus like an opinion or a hyperbole.
Yeah.
And parts where they are exaggerated and stuff in the data book, you can pretty obviously point them out or find contradictions in the primary source material to debunk it. But otherwise, it stands unless you can provide some evidence otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. The entire point of the data books is to give data or information about certain jutsu or certain people or certain things, right? It's for Kishimoto to describe these abilities further to us, to give us further insight on what these jutsu and abilities are actually doing. So if it says that the Sharingan can see all things in the universe, the Mangekyo Sharingan can do that, who's to say it's wrong? Like, why are you saying that? It's literally the entire purpose of the data book is to tell us what these jutsu do. So you can't just say it's wrong, it's exaggerated, unless you have proof of it. We can't just make, if you just say that a statement's exaggerated without proof, then you can say any statement ever made in existence is exaggerated without proof. And that just debunks your own statements, which I can then label as exaggerations. Like everything Happy's saying right now, exaggeration.
Yeah, okay? all this shit right here, exaggeration.
Yeah, that's an exaggeration, buddy. Like, he's just exaggerating. He's hyperbolic. Everything, he's actually agrees with my video. He's just exaggerating. Like, that's the kind of level of argumentation we're dealing with right now.
Boruto manga. Why doesn't everybody just downgrade to the Mangekyo Sharingan? Why use that Rinnegan or any of these more powerful doujutsu?
Hold on, let's go back to the Ada
should be
point.
Greater than Ada's in the current Boruto manga. Why doesn't everybody just downgrade to the Mangekyo Sharingan? Why use that Rinnegan or any of these more powerful doujutsu like Ada's clairvoyance if it's true that Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan can see the universe?
Okay, so there's so many things wrong with this.
There's so much with this. First of all, he says that everyone can just downgrade to a Mangekyo.
Yeah, why doesn't everyone just downgrade to the Mangekyo? You think everyone has a Mangekyo? You think everyone's just walking around with a Sharingan, buddy? Like, people can just get the Sharingan? There's only, like, 2 people in the entire universe who has that, like, known. Why the fuck can everyone just downgrade to the Mangekyo Sharingan? Why is that even a thing? No, not everyone can just downgrade to that. And if it is better than Ada's vision, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, Hapi directly says more powerful Dōjutsu. Like, he's already implying that Ada's eyes are just better than a Mangekyo, but he doesn't actually say why it is. And he also doesn't even describe how the eyes work properly in this video either.
Yeah.
And there's no way that he could say one is better than the other since they serve 2 different purposes and do 2 completely different things. They're not even, like, they're not something that is a comparison that you could just say, well, this one's 100% better. Like, it's pretty obvious that he's just bringing up some bullshit without actually describing why it's good.
We actually went and grabbed, like, the explanation for what Ada's vision is actually capable of. And what they say is, she who knows everything in this world. Okay? That's the first thing they say.
Well, so let's bring up what Happy actually describes, because it's literally like it's literally like just a sentence. That's all he says about it too. He doesn't actually describe
why use that Rinnegan or any of these more powerful doujutsu like Ada's clairvoyance if it's true that Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan can see the universe? It makes no sense. So it's literally contradicted. What it's saying is it can see the truth. So most people that have the Mangekyo Sharingan are able to see through Genjutsu.
He doesn't even describe like what her ability is. Like, he doesn't even say anything about it. But yeah, so the first thing is that she can see everything in this world, right? The second statement is that no, not that one. Hold on. She can see every nook and cranny of this world and can even see it even was able to perceive Ishiki's death. Okay? So, if we look up what the definition of world is.
This will be important for later.
Yeah, this is an important point.
World is brought up a lot, okay?
Yeah. This is like a major like turning point. So it can mean the Earth with all of its countries, people, and natural features. It can mean that. It can mean society, like all of people, society, and institutions on Earth. Or it can just mean the material universe or all that exists, everything. It can also just mean that. Okay, so there's multiple different things it can mean, right? Like, and we know that I don't think it's referring to just like planet or anything, because she's seeing like outside of the dimension. She's seeing into like the normal universe. She's able to see the Kara dimension and things like that. So she's able to see into different dimensions. And there's proof of that right here, because she's in the Kara dimension when when Code says that she can see everything in this world, and they say that the Kara base is located in another dimension. Right, so it makes sense that she can see everything in other dimensions as well. But this like idea that like she can see everything in this world literally could be equal to Sasuke straight off the bat. Like, that's just possible. So saying that this statement inherently means Sasuke's like Dōjutsu is better than Ada's is not true. Like, Ada's could just be just as good, just based on this one statement. And some other things that are interesting to talk about is that she was able to perceive Ishiki dying from, presumably, the Kara dimension, which is interesting because that means she can see into other dimensions, which are outside of the universe. Something that Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan is not capable of doing. And she's even able to see the past, something the Sharingan is not capable of doing. The Mangekyo cannot see the past. I can only see the current events in real time or pick scenes from the past to watch. And it also doesn't have precognition. The Mangekyo Sharingan does. They're like completely different abilities. Like, she can see throughout time and can like see like different areas wherever she wants, and the Sharingan can see in like a little bit into the future, or like has a little bit of precognition, and it can also, you know, see all things in the universe. It's kind of like saying, like, even saying one's better than the other is like comparing like a hammer to a screwdriver, like which one's more useful. They like serve different purposes, they do different things. I don't think one is inherently better than the other. Okay, so this entire idea that Sasuke's precognition would be, or Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan would be better than Ada's is not necessarily true. And even then, they're completely different. I don't even think saying one is better than the other doesn't make sense. Holy shit. Alright, Czar, Cyber Ninja, coming in with the $35 donation. Yo, Noodles, just joined the stream. This guy just seems like he wants to straw man anything. Anyways, enjoy your $2. Alright, I appreciate you, man. Good stuff. And the big man came in with a $35 donation.
Yo, I can grab a cheeseburger.
Yeah, let's go. It's cheeseburger time.
I need that shit.
Yeah, so like Ada's vision potentially can just see all of the universe as well, and it maybe even can see outside of the universe. So it might just be better than Sasuke's. And even if Sasuke's was better, he doesn't even explain why that's an issue. He just says it's a contradiction. Why would that be an issue, Happy? Not everyone has the Sharingan. Not everyone can downgrade to the Sharingan. Why are we even using downgrade? Why doesn't everyone upgrade to the Mangekyo Sharingan, Happy? Why don't they do that instead? But yeah, let's go back to the video.
But not everything, because we know that an evolution of the Sharingan is eventually the different forms of the Rinnegan. And that's why the Rinnegan is far superior, because you can do more. The limbo clones are in a different dimension, and he even said that in the video. You need the Rinnegan to see them.
Facts.
It's possible to have multiple dimensions in the same universe. In fact, anything is possible in fiction. We see this in Hunter x Hunter. For example, Nov.
I agree that there can be multiple dimensions in the same universe, but the issue is Sasuke's Mangekyo can see everything in the universe, and he can't see the limbo clones with his Mangekyo. He needs the Rinnegan to see them. So that suggests they exist outside of the universe, right? And the whole, like, being able to see the truth of the universe thing, I don't know if he's went over this point yet. He says, like, it can only see the truth of all of creation. All of creation is everything in the universe, by the way. It also says all of nature, and nature just means everything that's not man-made, things that are natural, right? Unless, I don't think God or, you know, or, like, these other people, when they created the universe, you know, that's man-made. Right, I don't think that's a man-made thing, or these like galaxies.
I built the sun. I have a confession to make.
You built the sun?
I made the galaxy.
You made the galaxies?
Yeah, that was me. It was a part-time project.
All right, never mind then. Yeah, so everything that's natural, or the whole of creation, literally proves that he can see everything in the universe. There's no way you can, like, argue against that unless you argue it's hyperbolic. And if you're arguing it's hyperbolic, you got to show me some context for why it's hyperbolic. Can't just claim it.
From Hunter x Hunter has a 4-dimensional mansion that exists within the same world of the Hunter x Hunter verse that Nov can just freely escape to. Does this mean Nov from Hunter x Hunter can blow up 4-dimensional constructs like multiverses? No. Unless
Nov creates a 4D construct with his nin. Does this make him multiversal? No, it doesn't. It would make him 4D if he did just actually create a 4D object, because, you know, a 4D object requires you to be 4th dimensional. But, I mean, that's pretty obvious. I don't know why this... I don't know the context of this either. I don't know if he actually is 4th dimensional.
To say, don't actually...
I need to see what the actual feat is. But, yeah, it is possible that his nin could create a 4th dimensional object, and I don't actually have an issue with that. But if it's just related to his nin, you know, he doesn't have to be 4th dimensional. So I just don't know the context, so I can't really comment on it. But, yeah.
Unless proven or shown in Hunter x Hunter that this mansion is the same size as a universe, you can't just imply or assume, using the words that Noodles literally use, like it's implied that it's infinite.
Implying that the distance between each realm was infinite rather than finite.
You need to have proof that it's universal or infinite in size. I'm talking like it says, for example, Kaguya's dimension is universal in size, or Kaguya's dimensions is equal to that of our universe, or better than that, it's literally depicted.
No, all I need is a statement that it's a time space, because the definition of time space literally requires it to be 4D, like verbatim, and it's stated to be a time space. So that's all I need. And I also showed the finite statement, like the suggestion that it's infinite. So either way.
connected, like they've got some sort of diagram showing like the Naruto universe, and then this other universe is connected to the main Naruto universe, you know, like a cosmology chart.
Kaguya's worlds are time spaces, which means that Kaguya's dimensions are also referred to as both time spaces and hyperspaces. Both the definitions of hyperspace and time space refer to an extra-dimensional or at least 4D space, which is supported by Black Zetsu's statements that it was going to be the beginning of a new space.
It never said space-time continuum or space-time. It actually says time-space in the English translation. But even Noodles himself said this.
I know the statement says time space, but as many people have mentioned before, this is actually a mistranslation. The kanji used is called kukan, which literally means space in Japanese.
What confuses me here about Noodles' claim is that he says that it's a mistranslation and it's actually space. So if it's space, then why is he claiming that it's a space-time, which is a 4-dimensional construct? Because it didn't say space-time. He's assuming that it says space-time or means time-space or space-time, when really it just says space.
Okay, so this just tells me Happy just didn't watch the video. Because, like, I wasn't using this scan to prove that it was a time space. I literally debunked that with the correct translation. Like, he literally agrees that I'm right with Kukan. So, by the way, criticizing my Japanese earlier, so far I'm undefeated in my Japanese translations in the video. So unless you got some actual answer to what I'm actually wrong, I don't know why you're criticizing my Japanese. But hold on, let's go back. This is the scan I'm using to say it's a time space. We have the actual translation of this. This does not use Kukan. This scan actually does just directly translate to time space. Let me see if I can find the translation of that real quick. Give me one moment. Hold on. Nate, send me the translation for that. I put it somewhere, but I think it might be... Hold on. Give me one moment, guys. I think I know where it's at. I found one of the other scans where it's called the time space directly, but I'm trying to find this specific one.
Nate said he isn't the one that sent it to you, question mark? Oh boy.
Hold on 1 second. Entertain them, Cyboshi.
I'm not entertaining. You think I'll just fucking dance here, Noodles?
Yeah, dance. Be like a circus monkey.
I can't do that. Serpone already left.
Hold on. I gotta find this. I just need to find if anyone has that in my Discord, by the way.
Raw.
Yeah, the raw for this. I grabbed it the other day, literally for this purpose.
All right, okay. I got a joke for you guys in chat. All right, why did Happy cross the road? To get to the next mistranslation. Fuck, man, Kira, can find this shit.
Man, I'm trying.
Why is Urahara the worst Bleach character? I don't know. That just sounds like a bunch of cap. Definitely the best character.
Oh, I debated that dude the other day. Hold on. I put it in there. That's where I used it. Alright, Cyboshi.
Did you find him?
Yep. Found it. Alright. Here you go, boys. So here's the raw, since Happy wants to criticize me for not apparently cross-checking raws. This is the little panel we're trying to look at. So if you look at the kanji, Kaguya's space-time. Verbatim. That's just what it says. Okay? There's a bunch of translators we use, and every single one of them came out to Kaguya space-time. They don't use Kukan. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see exactly. So...
It's the raw.
Yeah, so right here and then here. You can see that they're the same kanji. It's that weird kanji, that weird kanji. Oh.
Yeah, all that weird kanji, man.
Yeah, right there. You can literally see it. Right there. Bam, bam, bam. All in a row. Literally says space-time. Verbatim. So there is no argument to be had about whether or not Kaguya's dimensions are space-times or not. There's another one that says it as well. It's this scan. Let me grab it real quick. This one also is just Obito calling it a scan. I don't have the translation on hand, but I'm pretty sure it would use the same kanji. I'll just have to find it. Either way, I know this scan says time-space as well. So there's two different statements of it being the time-space, and I'm pretty sure I got this from like King Bullet's DM with Hapi, where Hapi literally acknowledges that it's a time-space in the scan. But either way, let's continue. Which means that Kaguya's dimensions are also referred to as both time spaces and hyperspaces. Both the definitions of hyperspace and time space refer to an extra-dimensional or at least 4D space, which is supported by Black Zetsu's statements that it was going to be the beginning of a new space.
It never said space-time continuum or space-time. It actually says time-space in the English translation.
People have mentioned before, this is actually a mistranslation. The kanji used is called kukan, which literally means space in Japanese.
What confuses me here about Noodles' claim is that he says that it's a mistranslation and it's actually space. So if it's space, then why is he claiming that it's a space-time, which is a 4-dimensional construct? Because it didn't say space-time. He's assuming that it says space-time or means time-space or space-time, when really it just says space. So he debunked himself here.
Wrong.
Another thing that reaffirms this theory that Kaguya's dimensions are only planetary in size is because of this panel here. It says this root time-space is Mother's exclusive domain where she can directly extract chakra from shinobi trapped in the infinite Tsukiyomi. And there's only shinobi trapped on the shinobi world. So
her world wasn't created using their chakra. It was created using her chakra.
The worlds were there prior to the shinobi being trapped.
The dimension exists to extract their chakra, but that's not what was used to create her dimensions. So whatever finite chakra you're referring to, or whatever, had nothing to do with her dimensions being created. She literally says that she was going to destroy and recreate the world with her eternal truth-seeking orb or whatever. So that means that eternal truth-seeking orb is what was going to erase everything. Okay? And that includes her chakra, which we don't know if is finite or not. So, this whole idea, in fact, there's like statements that like the Ten Tails chakra is infinite and like that Kaguya has even better chakra than him. So there's even statements that would suggest that Kaguya has infinite chakra. But yeah, like this entire idea that the dimensions that were created were reliant on finite like chakra is completely dumb. That's just wrong. Outright wrong.
time spaces are also planetary in size. So this argument is based on assumption of size, which is fallacious in itself. So I wouldn't take any of these arguments thus far in the video as conclusive evidence that Kaguya's dimension are universal and universal in size.
He's literally ignored like most of the video in this, so I don't even think he can say.
Like he's whiffing, he's missing Noodles.
Yeah,
the dartboard is out. Holes in the wall.
The whole argument here.
He's only addressed like 2 arguments, and he's like saying like, yeah, the entire video is wrong up to this point. Like
pinned on the fact that they used the kanji tenchi, but they didn't. You can go read the Japanese for yourself. I'll post.
We never brought that up, all right?
Yeah.
We never fucking said that the kanji was in there, okay?
Yeah, I never said
keep
that.
saying that it is.
I just said that in Japanese, tenchi means both things. That's all I said. I didn't say that it was in the panel. I tell people when a specific kanji is in the panel. You'll hear me say it. I said the kanji kukan is in that last panel. I say when the translations are wrong. And I say when the certain kanji are used. You can't just assume that I'm saying that tenchi's in the panel. That's your straw man and your lie, buddy.
Pinned on the fact that they used the kanji tenchi, but they didn't. You can go read the Japanese for yourself. I'll post it here. Sasuke didn't know how to connect to Kaguya's dimension till later. 2, it was never established that he could travel infinitely. Therefore, we can conclude that Sasuke learned how to connect to Kaguya's dimension, which is a finite distance because it was never stated to be infinite nor proven that Sasuke could travel infinitely.
Okay, let's look at these. So, Sasuke didn't know how to connect to Kaguya's dimensions later. He literally says in the video, Sasuke gets better at teleporting and gets stronger later.
Yeah,
so,
that's fine.
If Sasuke learns to connect to Kaguya's dimensions later, that could be because he got better and can connect over an infinite distance. That makes sense. So I don't see why this is a debunk. This is just supporting the argument. Like, this is just helping Sasuke be able to teleport an infinite distance. It was never established that he could travel infinitely. This is just circular. This was your initial claim. This is a circular argument. It has nothing to do with what I'm actually arguing. It was never established that he could travel infinite. The argument was that he can't travel, he can only travel finite distances. So the implication is that the distance he would be trying to travel is not finite. It's infinite. That's the argument. So you didn't even address that argument. You just said a bunch of non-points and strawman the Tenchi position, and then tried to connect that to the time-space position, which you didn't understand either. Conclusion: Sasuke learnt how to connect. Yeah, is that right? Is that grammatically correct? Happy, can you speak English, bro? Can you speak English? I'm sorry, I don't know if I can accept this. Connected Kaguya's dimensions, which is a finite distance, never stated to be infinite nor proven Sasuke could travel infinitely. You can't say it's a finite just because it's never been stated to be infinite, which it is implied to be infinite for one, but you can't just say that's an argument from ignorance. Even if I didn't have proof that it was infinite, you can't just claim that it's finite. You don't know if it's finite. It's unknown. That's how you have to say it. That's an argument from ignorance.
Which is a finite distance because it was never stated to be infinite nor proven that Sasuke could travel infinitely. Alright, let's look at the next argument.
Naruto in the Momoshiki novel refers to Momoshiki's dimensions as either a hyperspace or a barrier.
As you can see in the third paragraph of this particular translation,
I want you guys to notice what I say about this like specific screenshot. Take very careful note of what I say.
Argument.
Naruto in the Momoshiki novel refers to Momoshiki's dimensions as either a hyperspace or a barrier.
As you can see,
in the Momoshiki novel, Naruto refers to Kaguya's time space or Kaguya's dimensions as either a hyperspace or a barrier. That's what I say about this screenshot. Now let's listen to what Hapi gets out of this argument in this screenshot.
The first thing he jumps to when he hears it.
Yeah, the first thing he starts talking about.
See in the third paragraph of this particular translation, it says hyperspace. Now the important thing to note is, can you see that little bar on the right there?
You got this one, Cyboshi.
This is the iPhone Notes app, and they took a screenshot, and that's why it's got this little gray bar here on the side. So you're telling me this is a legit source? Like, okay, this is actually your source? An iPhone screenshot from somebody who wrote this in notes. There's a lot of fans out there.
Okay, it doesn't fucking matter where it was taken as long as the translation is correct. And there's also the raws that are there, and Hapi himself literally brings them up later. It doesn't matter that it's fucking screenshot in iPhone notes. He's just trying to attack something just so he doesn't have to provide an actual debunk to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that the bar is there. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Doesn't matter if it's in notes or whatever other app they're using to text on it.
Yeah, because there is no official English translation of the Boruto movie novel. Okay, there is none. There's no official translation.
It's only in just raw Japanese. So the only way that we can get anything out of it is if we can translate it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just grabbed one of the first images I found about it.
And there's a lot of unbiased fans, so to speak.
Hold on.
Also,
there's a lot of fans out there.
You said what?
Hold on, play it. Just listen to what Hapi says here.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me just shout out the chat real quick. We got 102 viewers in chat right now. Let's go, baby. 104? I don't even know. It's popping off, though. Let's keep listening.
And there's a lot of unbiased fans, so to speak. And they will translate all these Naruto novels because they like the novels. They don't care about power scaling. They don't care about power levels. They're pretty unbiased.
Okay,
so if you type in
they're
Google,
unbiased.
Notice that Noodles.
Yeah, he says. Yeah, these fan translators are generally unbiased. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's kind of what I'm using. I'm using fan translation. So thank you for that, Happy. But yeah, you're helping me. Saber been a member for 3 months. Let's go, Saber. Let's go. That's what I like to see.
Never gave a source. Never told you what book this is.
I literally did give a source, and I did tell them what book it was from.
Yeah, he like brings up.
Notice that Noodles never gave a sourse, never told you what book this is from, or it didn't actually show you an exact page from the book. This is the book.
I can't. My viewers can't read Japanese. Why would I show them the Japanese page? What sense would that make if I showed them the Japanese page? They can't read it, Happy. My fan base is English. Like, they read English. Like, I'm sorry that I had to grab the fan translation because they didn't understand that. Okay? Like, I don't understand why you want me just to show the pages on screen. And I did tell them. I said the Momoshiki novel. And I know he put that little thing up. The Momoshiki novel? That's not a thing. It's the only novel with Momoshiki in it, numbnuts. Like, it's literally the only one he even exists in. So, of course, I'm talking about Boruto the movie novel. I literally talk.
Yeah, I
literally
didn't know
say
Momoshiki popped up in the third data book, dog. Wow.
Yeah, like, I literally say the Boruto movie novel in the video later as well. So I know he has to know what I'm talking about. But then again, he couldn't even show me the other things. Like, he couldn't even recognize, like, the other arguments I was making earlier. So I kind of get it, I guess.
Book it's from. It's called Naruto Boruto the movie novel. And if you type that in Google, click the free PDF and then Control F search this line. He didn't think they'd gotten very far from the village of Konohagakure. You will then find what it actually says. And every instance where they've ever put the word universe, it was actually written differently. They translated it to be world. Let's read the actual raw Japanese. Does it say parallel universe as Noodles claims? Or...
Did you guys hear me say parallel universe earlier? Did you guys hear me say that at all? When this panel was brought up? Because I specifically noted, I told you guys to listen to what I say. When I brought this screenshot up, did I mention anything about a parallel universe? What I said is that it's referred to as a hyperspace or a barrier. Kekai means barrier. So I said it's referred to as a hyperspace or barrier. That's what I said. I said nothing about parallel universes. Nothing at all in this scan did I reference the parallel universe aspect of it. In fact, I didn't bring up... Literally, the first thing I did was literally type Momoshiki hyperspace. That's what I typed in. I clicked images. What's the first thing that gets brought up? This panel. This is where I got it from, Happy. This is where I got it from. And it had nothing to do with the universe aspect of it.
Or world. Let's find out. So this is what it says. Naruto wa kurayami no naka ni itta. Konohagakure no sato kara sa hodo hanareta to mo omoenu ga mi oboe no nai basho toyu yori wa ikai datta. So ikai, the red underlined kanji, means the next world. Additionally, yo, the kanji that's underlined in light blue, means world also. So who blatantly lied in this translation? So are we going to take...
It's not a blatant lie. It's an interpretation of the word world. If you look up the definition of world, like we did earlier, world definition, it can mean Earth, right? It can mean society, and it can mean universe. So calling it a parallel universe instead of a parallel world is not necessarily wrong. It's just a different interpretation of the kanji. There's nothing wrong with calling it a parallel universe. Okay? And what's funny is, later in the video, he even argues that the words parallel universe don't even mean universe or something along those lines. So, I don't even know why he has an issue with it being called a parallel universe to begin with. This is stupid. And I'm not talking about the parallel universe. Here, let's listen to what I said about this panel. Hold on.
Universe as... will actually... Now the important... nor proven that...
refers to Momoshiki's dimensions as either a hyper... Naruto in the Momoshiki novel refers to Momoshiki's dimensions as either a hyperspace or a barrier.
As you can see...
You guys see where I said parallel universe there? Did you guys hear that? You guys hear where I said parallel universe? Oh, you didn't? Me neither, because I didn't say parallel universe. Never once in the video did I mention the parallel universe aspect of that statement. And it does say parallel world. I'm not going to dispute that it says parallel world. I know that it says parallel world. That's why I didn't bring it up. Literally, I didn't even talk about it. Because I don't think the parallel world statements are that good of proof. I touch on them a little bit early in the video, and that's it. That's all I talked about. The rest of the video had nothing to do with the parallel world statements. Absolutely zero.
In the third...
Yeah, Nate, we said we literally confirmed the translation beforehand. I translated it myself. We go and check the scans. I make sure my shit is solid. I don't fucking put out some BS translation. I double check this. You're talking to the noodle man, buddy. You're talking to me. I double check this.
So are we going to take the guy who used an iPhone screenshot from Notes universe when it was who has clearly tried to change the word world to mean universe when it
change the word world to mean
can mean universe. Just because you put universe there doesn't mean the translation is wrong.
What is this, Happy? What is this?
Using universe in place of it. That's fine.
The material universe or all that exists. It can mean that. He didn't change the word. It can mean that. So he's just interpreting it as that. And you may not agree with the interpretation. That's fine. I don't care if you have a different interpretation of it and it's equal or equally valid. That's okay with me. I never said that's a bad argument. So why? But it's also fine to call it a universe. I don't think his translation's bad.
It was never once ever stated in the kanjis. You can't translate these kanjis to be universe. They're only specifically translated to mean world.
World can mean universe, so there you go. It can be translated that way.
So this is gshow.org, which is the...
And you know what's funny? I think that the interpretation, parallel universe, is better than parallel world because we know that they're their own time spaces based on the scans earlier. So if they're their own time spaces, contextually, it makes more sense for them to be their own universes. Because that's what a time space is. It's a 4D space. Okay? It's a space that has hypervolume. A volume that's greater than the 3 dimensions. Which means it's a fucking 4D universe. It's a universe. A universe is just an infinite 3D space. 4D is actually better than infinite 3D. So that doesn't help you, buddy. Like, it literally doesn't help you.
The most reliable Japanese dictionary, and it claims that it means the spirit world, an underworld, or the next world. That doesn't inherently prove that it's universal structure. It still could be a small spirit realm that's the same size as our world.
Hapi he always implies that world is something not a universe. Like, he never takes that definition ever. World can never mean universe to him.
Yeah.
Even though it's literally in the definition and contextually, we can safely assume that it is probably referring to universe. And that's fine.
Because it's both infinite and it's both a time space. Yeah, it's both infinite and a time space. So it literally makes sense. And what's funny is, like, another argument I made was that Naruto's sensing is stated to be the height of sensing capability. And it's better than Sasuke's sensing capability of seeing all things in the universe. So that means that Sasuke, who can see everything in the universe or in infinite space, cannot see between Kaguya's dimensions, which means they're infinite as well. Like, there's just so many issues with this argument.
Spirit world, and then you've got our world, and they live, you know, together simultaneously. This wouldn't suggest that it's universal in size. If anything, it would just mean it's another, like a parallel world, like isekai genre type thing. So, I'm sorry guys, but you've been lied to. Whoever translated this panel, perhaps it was Noodles, perhaps it was King Bullet or Nairobi, whoever it was, lied to you. This word can never mean universe, ikai. Whoever told you it said tenshi, sekai, or whatever, lied to you. Here
I never said that.
The actual book itself.
Man, Happy is literally just trying to make himself look so good, bro. He's like, I can read Japanese. I have the official Naruto Japanese book. No, Happy, you look like a dork. That's what you look like. You don't look any better. You just look like a dork who knows Japanese. Like, that's all you look like. Sorry, I don't care that you have the official book. Why would I get the official book when I can just read it online, moron? Oh. You're stupid for even paying money for it.
And you can see these are the pages, right? Right down at the bottom, you can see it says Ikai. This is where I underlined in the screenshots that I've been showing before. And it also says, man, this is really hard to use, like, while looking at a camera. The point being is, I literally have, like, hard copy of the Japanese novel. All right, so let's continue on with this translation. Noodles also claims that it was a hyperspace. So the word that they used was akukan. So in Japanese, this translates to a subspace or hyperspace. However...
Wow!
Translate to subspace or hyperspace. You know, the one thing that Noodles actually pointed out in the video is that it's either a barrier or a hyperspace.
Huh.
The part that we're actually translating was correct.
It's almost like that's exactly what I said. Dude, are you listening to the video? I literally said hyperspace.
However, a hyperspace is just a means of explaining teleportation. Like, think of it like Star Wars, where entering a hyperspace is what they say when they, you know, flying the Millennium Falcon, for example, and then they zoom off and they get to some other place really quick, right? Look at the context of this particular novel. It says that Kaguya could send people via a hyperspace. So therefore, it's just a method of transport and...
Okay. Ooh, man, Happy. God dang, he's so dumb, bro. How is he so dumb? Oh my gosh. Okay, so firstly, he didn't think they'd gotten very far from the village of Konagaku, but rather than saying this was some place he didn't remember, it'd be more accurate to say this was a parallel world. It was terribly cold and distortions rippled through the sky. It plainly wasn't the airspace of his own world. So basically the context of this is Naruto is sitting in Momoshiki's dimension and he's describing what he's seeing and feels. And then he says Kaguya held the power of sending people into parallel worlds too. And then it goes to the next sentence. He's like, is this something like a Kekai or a subspace? He's already there. He's not traveling anywhere. He's sitting in the dimension, and he's looking at Momoshiki's dimension, and he's wondering if this is a subspace or a hyperspace, right? Or he's wondering if this is a hyperspace or not, or a barrier, or a Kekai. Kekai can also be translated to subspace. About half of it looked like the second-hand knowledge, but whatever. So the context isn't him getting in the Millennium Falcon and flying through space and time at light speed, Happy. That's not what's happening. He's not flying through space. He's sitting in Momoshiki's dimension and describing the dimension. It has nothing to do with travel. The only aspect that has to do with travel is Kaguya holding the power to send people into parallel worlds, which is not light speed, it's beyond space and time. They directly state multiple times in Naruto that the space-time ninjutsu go beyond space and time. It's instant teleportation. That's what it's like, okay? It has nothing to do with light speed travel or traveling through space, okay? It's just so goofy.
My Millennium Falcon,
yeah,
boys.
Naruto's just hopping in the Millennium Falcon, going light speed, I guess. That's not what's happening. And it's mind-boggling that he can misinterpret the context so badly from this one panel.
Akukan is not some crazy multiversal structure as Noodle claims. Here is a list of the kanjis that was supposedly...
Akukan? So, hyperspace. Let's look up what the definitions of hyperspace and subspace mean. Here's hyperspace definition. It means space of more than 3 dimensions. Wow. That means it's at least 4D, right? Cool. Let's look up what subspace means. A space that is wholly contained in another space, whose points or elements are all in another space. Okay? That would be fine. You know, the mathematics definition, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean it's more than 3 dimensions or whatever. But Happy wants to use the science fiction one. Let's look at what the science fiction ones are. A notional space-time continuum, which it is possible to travel faster than light. In science fiction, a hypothetical space-time continuum used for communication at speeds faster than light. This is the definition Happy wants to use, right? Hypothetical space-time. A notional space-time continuum. So,
creating space-time continuum.
Yeah, if we're using those definitions, what's a space-time again? Space-timer. What's a space-time again?
Space-time.
Oh man, not astronomy. Whew. The concepts of time in the 3-dimensional space regarded as fused in a 4-dimensional continuum. Almost like if we're using these definitions, if they're creating these space-time continuums, which it's possible to travel faster than light, that sounds 4D, Happy. If we're going by your definition, which I don't even agree with because it says in science fiction, you know what Naruto is? Naruto genre. Let's look at the Naruto genre. Manga, adventure, fantasy fiction, action fiction. Where's science fiction, Happy? It's not a science fiction show.
Noodles, they just forgot to put it there. Did you see all the science-y stuff they did, you know?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, where's all the science stuff? Like, I don't know if Happy knows what genres are, but science fiction is like, yeah, Moonfall, Halo, The Atom Project, The Expanse, The Matrix, you know, Star Trek, John Carter, like, The Lawnmower Man, yeah, The Fantastic Four, Dragon Ball Z, I guess, but, like, yeah, Naruto is not a science fiction. Like, it's almost like we were using what we thought would be the best definition, and Happy just wants to use these dumb science fiction definitions that literally support it being 4D. So goofy, bro.
They translate via a hyperspace is what they say when they, flying the Millennium Falcon, for example, and then they zoom off and they get to some other place really quick, right? Look at the context of this particular novel. It says that Kaguya could send people via a hyperspace. So therefore, it's just a method of transport, and Akukan is not some crazy multiversal structure as Noodle claims. Here is a list of the kanjis that were supposedly translated to mean universe in the fake iPhone Notes app translation.
The fake
If you look up any of these characters, none of them translate to universe. So this entire argument that Kaguya's dimensions are a hyperspace or multiversal construct is based on a fake script written using the iPhone Notes app.
Novel, where it says that Momoshiki was draining chakra beyond the parallel dimension he made.
In the raw Japanese, the word used was isekai, which translates to another world, especially in fiction, other world, parallel universe, different dimension world, or isekai. Note that it can be translated to be parallel universe. So what does that mean in English? So according to the Oxford Dictionary, a parallel universe in physics is a universe theorized as existing alongside our own. But in science fiction or in fantasy such as Naruto, means that this word, parallel universe, actually means a world that is conceived as coexisting with and having certain similarities to the known world. Now, if you look at the other translation of isekai, it also said different dimension world or another world, especially in fiction. Now, in the other author's translation...
Okay.
This is all hinging on the fact that world means not universe.
Yeah.
By the way.
It's also hinging on the fact that he thinks I'm talking about the parallel universe aspect of the statement, even though I said nothing about it. So... yeah, and this whole, like, idea, like, in fantasy or science fiction, a world conceived of or coexisting as, he acts like this definition encompasses all of fiction. You know, like, the term parallel universe is used differently, like, in tons of different media. Like, it's not necessarily all just encompassed under this one definition that you're using. That's stupid to begin with. Like, that's like, man, I'm not even gonna get into it. But either way, like, in fantasy or science fiction, like, who cares? What if they're using the physics definition? You don't know which definition they're using. That's why we have to interpret this.
Parallel universe actually means a world that is conceived as coexisting with and having certain similarities to the known world. Now, if you look at the other translation of isekai, it also said different dimension world or another world, especially in fiction. Now, in the other author's translation, or in other words, the translator's translation of the novel, he said it was a parallel dimension he'd made. So if we're using that kanji isekai, this means it's a different dimensional world he made. So I don't inherently disagree with the translation here of parallel dimension, because it can mean a parallel dimension in terms of a world based off the kanji.
It can also mean parallel universe, according to you. So, I mean, if it's a parallel universe, sounds like he made a parallel universe, which easily could be, a universe, but let's continue.
But it can also, as stated in English, mean parallel universe, and if that's the case, then a parallel universe in fiction is also a world. So I agree with these translations that it is a world.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
This is so dumb, bro. He's saying that the term parallel universe can mean parallel world in fiction, therefore it's not a universe. Parallel world, for one, can mean universe. But for two, parallel universe in fiction can also just be a universe. And considering the context we have, that's exactly what it means.
Yeah, like when they bring up how many times it's like a different space-time or an entirely different, dimension, it seems more, might be a little bit more applicable that it's referring to universe rather than just like a, like a planet or something. Seems kind of be implying,
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're creating, like, these entire dimensions and shit, and they're, like, so vast that, like, Obito has trouble connecting to them. Naruto and Sasuke can't sense them, even though Naruto can literally sense across the planet in KCM1. When Naruto...
It also kind of supports it, too, like, because in there, it's literally stated that Sasuke can see the streams coming from outside of the dimension as well.
Yeah.
So the fact it's coming from outside of it, and, ties back to the...
Exactly.
Sasuke's Rinnegan being weaker and being able to, only seeing in the finite.
Yeah, his Rinnegan initially, was like, yeah, whatever, you got that argument, but, like, this whole, like, idea is just stupid, bro. I don't get, like, how he's, like, arguing parallel universe doesn't mean universe, and, like, he's just trying to say it can be interpreted as world, I guess, but even then, that can still potentially mean universe. I don't know, bro. He's
just to emphasize this point a little better, if you search world in the other guy's translation, like, this is some random, this is not my translation, by the way.
Or translation,
he literally translated ikai or isekai to mean world every single time. That's 21 times, so it's definitely more consistent that it's a parallel world or another world. Whereas universe literally came up 0 times.
World is fine.
You know, let's look at what parallel universe means real quick. Parallel universe. Let's look at parallel world for one. Parallel world definition. This is what we'll do first. A parallel universe. Parallel world. When you look up parallel world, parallel universe pops up. Wow. Almost like...
Google coming out with the recommendations.
Yeah. I was hoping just to get the parallel world definition, but that's funnier. Parallel universes in fiction. Parallel world, science fiction, a reality world that exists. Yeah, man, it's just goofy, bro. Like...
Not once was it ever translated to be a universe. So this Boruto...
Yeah, I've just read a comment in chat. Happy contradicted himself the whole time. Basically, the context dictates that it's way bigger than a planet. Yeah, Naruto was in the Cloud Village, like on the Turtle Island, across the planet when the war was happening. Okay, there's like the whole, like, you can look at the map or whatever, and you can see where the Turtle Island's at, and you can see that the war is happening, like, in the center of all the villages in, like, that desert area. Okay, and he was in a room that was specifically meant to stop his sensing capability from sensing things. And even inside of that room, he could still sense Biju chakra across the planet, like across continents and countries and shit. While just in KCM1, and this is excluding his later forms, which enhance his, including like Sage mode and the other, like the Sage of Six Paths mode and all that stuff, that enhance his sensing to even more extraordinary degrees. So he can already sense across the planet, and can sense into other dimensions like the Limbo clones. Yet he can't sense between Kaguya's worlds. Like, people, a debunk people brought up about my video was when I used the statement that Naruto can't sense Sasuke or whatever. People were like, that was a clone of Naruto. Naruto's clones were capable of fighting the Limbo clones, which are outside of the universe. They're in their own dimension. So his clones can still sense interdimensional ranges or universal ranges, and they couldn't sense Sasuke. Literally proof, bro.
64, Rescue Naruto, is talking about the episode that depicts the same events that is written in the Boruto Naruto, the movie, novel, and the film. So the guy that translated that book from before wrote 21 times the word world. And we already established that isekai in this context, no matter what, even if it's translated to mean parallel universe in English, especially in science fiction and fantasy, means world. So in this panel, if you have a look at the kanji that is highlighted in the box here, it is literally stated isekai. Like, they use the same kanji. So whoever translated it to be parallel universe is probably the same person who was using the notes app. Because
no, probably not. Because I found this off of Comic Vine. Like, if you go back to like the whole Momoshiki hyperspace thing, it's a Comic Vine thing from ages ago. Let's see when this was made. Man, well, it doesn't have the date, I guess, but...
Probably all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, hold on, let's go. A year ago. This is where I got it from. Like, it's just literally the first thing that pops up. I wasn't being specific with the translations. Like, just actually the first thing that pops up.
All the other translations that you can find outside of that one, too, also corroborate that the quote-unquote fake iPhone notes translation, they corroborate that it's accurate anyway.
Yeah. This video just gets thrown in the trash if you agree that world equals universe. Rapti needs to watch more Bill Nye. Yeah, I know, right? Like, world can just mean universe. And I'm not saying it necessarily does, because I barely even mention the parallel world statements in, like, my video. Like, I only mentioned, like, 2 sentences about it. Like, the entire time I wasn't even focusing on that. So, if you just ignore the parallel world statements, I'm still proving that he's, universal. But, yeah, this is just dumb. This is just really dumb. Thank you for the $5 donation, Kosu. It makes sense contextually for them to be universes.
Already established from a random, unbiased translator that isekai was meant to be parallel world, and we also established that parallel universe, even in English, means a parallel world or a fantasy world. Then there is no way that this...
I like how he's just using this definition just because sometimes in fantasy or science fiction, parallel world is used this way. You know, sometimes it's not used that way too. Sometimes it's used like the physics way, you know, like in DC, how they talk about like infinite universes and parallel universes and things like that. Like, what about that? Like, it literally does use like the physics definition. So I don't know why like all of fiction is encompassed in this.
Fantasy, man.
Yeah, sorry, man. Science fiction, bro.
Could have been translated to parallel universe, unless if you just felt like making up translations.
Built the brain created to reshape the world. This statement proves that Kaguya was going... Notice how I say world and not universe? How I'm not arguing it says parallel universe? How I specifically say world? To return the world to nothing with the world, which is Kaguya's ability to move worlds around. World? In the title description of this ability, it says, creating dimensions as she pleases, doing the exact same thing. To rewrite the world in an instant... World! I keep saying world! I wonder if it's because my Japanese translations are actually correct. Huh. Wow, Happy. Wow, it's almost like my Japanese is undefeated so far. And you were trying to criticize me earlier. And your English is not undefeated. You're actually really dumb about definitions. You suck when it comes to definitions. And make it reality. This is just like Genjutsu. On top of this, the final thing I found in regards to Kaguya and her dimensions is this statement from Kakashi, which directly says Kaguya was going to rewrite the entire world. World! Rinnegan possesses the power of two opposing forces that made everything in creation in the universe.
So it's important to note here that he said Kaguya's sekai, or in other words, world.
What did I say, guys? Did you guys once hear me say parallel universe in this entire video? Did anyone hear me say that? Or did everyone hear me say world 100 times, which is what Happy is arguing the translations say? It's almost like I get my kanji right, buddy.
Agree upon the fact that Kukan does in fact mean space. So we can safely conclude that even though they used a fake panel to try and prove that it was universe, the actual translation translated to mean world every time, and that...
The one thing I used in this fake panel was hyperspace, and you agreed that it can mean hyperspace.
It is either world or space, which does not mean universe. And even if it was parallel universe for some reason, in fiction, a parallel universe is translated to mean an alternate world. Now, the final two arguments that he makes is that Shinra Bancho means all things in the universe, which it doesn't. It just means all things in nature or creation. Second,
man, all things in creation, man. It seems like we went over this earlier.
Wow, Happy.
Again?
All things in creation? All things in nature? Dude.
Noodles, bro, were you out back forging the fucking stars, my guy?
Yeah, I guess I was just over here building the universe with my hands. Let's look up what natural means. Natural definition. Existing or in or caused by nature. Not made or caused by humankind. So you think humans, like, made the universe, Happy? You think they just constructed the cosmos themselves? Oh, you don't? So it's natural, then. All things in nature sounds like the entire universe. And by the way, that's still a straw man of my position. If you listen to what I actually say in the video, I give like 16 different definitions for what Shinra Bancho can mean. I give like tons. I say all things in nature, I say all things in creation. There's some definitions that do say the universe. And guess what? Let's see what creation says. All of creation definition.
I'm not saying that, Close Pin. You're gonna have Noodles do that.
Here, we'll just say creation definition. Creation. Active process of bringing something into existence, a thing which has been made or invented as... bringing into the existence of a universe, especially when regarded as an act of God. Everything so created the universe. Wow, Happy! So you're telling me it can create all things in nature and can create, you know, the universe? It's almost like that's what I was arguing. Buddy, you don't understand definitions. You can't read English. You shouldn't criticize other people for their usage of definitions when I'm literally debunking you. How are you arguing this with me, buddy?
Yeah, come and argue with us.
He also argues that the infinite Tsukiyomi is a universal thing. However, in his own panels here...
A universal thing? No, I argue it's multiversal.
He also argues that the infinite Tsukiyomi is a universal thing. However, in his own panels here, it shows that it says world. So now, as I mentioned before, parallel universe by definition in fiction is another world. So whenever a translator is given a text and it says parallel universe, they mean a world like our own.
No, that's not every single time. You're just assuming that. If you want to make that claim, show me every piece of fiction that has ever used parallel universe, and show me that in every single situation where they use that, they mean just a regular world. Or in your case, a planet, moron. Because last time I checked, all of nature and all of creation isn't just a planet. That's all of the planets. That's everything. Everything that's non-man-made.
Multiversal metas are valid, and thus we understand that all these dimensions are merely planets or worlds.
Holy fuck, what a fucking shitty video.
Man.
There isn't a single point in here that's like actually properly addressing it.
Literally every single argument Happy made in this entire 15-minute shitfest is garbage. Happy, stop trying to argue Naruto with me. You don't know anything about Naruto. I am the Naruto guy. I am the noodle man. You aren't anything, dog. You get Japanese translations wrong and you speak Japanese. And you agree, you said I get Japanese translations wrong, even though every translation that I used in the entire video was correct. You literally supported me half the time. Oh, the clothespins.
I acknowledge you.
Here, clothespins donated me. Let me go check. Say I love clothespins. I love you, clothespins. I'm sorry. Thank you for the $2 dono, man. I appreciate it. And Happy, since you know, you think you're like top dog or whatever, and you think that you know, my video sucked even though you barely addressed any of it. Let's read some of your comments in the YouTube section. I beat his dad 5 times in a row, and I have the judgments. And no, he lost so bad that he deleted the recording. You gonna debate Noodles? Happy gets bodied. He only knows semantics. Yes, I already beat him several times. He mostly ducks me. I've already beaten his friend's no diff. Oh, if you've already did that, Happy, come debate me on this, buddy. Come get this work. I'm ready for you. We can debate live on stream. We can debate in a private server on recording. We could debate in Reach. We could have Kruos judge it. Since he's a TikTok guy like you, right? And neither one of us have a close relationship to him. You want to debate? You think that I duck you? Come get this work, buddy. I'm not afraid of nobody. You must think that you're something else. I don't give a shit, bro. I've debated in front of hundreds of people. You want to debate? You think I duck? Come debate me live on stream then. Let's see if you can actually support this position. Oh. None of the arguments Happy even thinks he is debunking our multiversal in this video. Isn't that pretty weird? Yeah, it's almost like he doesn't even good comment, Parrot. It's almost like he doesn't even address like half of the arguments. Where was the debunks to the Hagoromo arguments? Yo, where's the debunks to those? Where's the debunk to the like infinite Tsukiyomi and like, you know, the whole like it being canon and all that? And like how they're like completely perfect copies of the world that you just didn't address. What about all of that? What about...
Hapi literally only addresses just translation issues, and those have like no bearing on it since the translations were accurate and the definitions line up with, you know, the context. There's nothing there that actually disproves it.
Yeah. You didn't address... You basically ignored, like, you know... 85-90% of the entire video, focused on 3 points, and failed to debunk those 3 points. Multiversal Naruto is fake, proceeds not to talk about a single multiversal argument even once in the video. Literally, he didn't say shit about multiversal Naruto. Come debate me about universal Naruto, Happy.
Yeah, he didn't touch a single point that's actually
come talk to me about it. Since you want to talk shit in your comment section, I'm more than willing to debate. And yeah, like I said, we can have judges. We don't need judges. I don't really care what we do. If we do have judges, we obviously are going to agree to the judges. Like I said, I suggest Kruos, just because neither one of us has a relationship with him, really. You've had him judge your debate with Bullet in the past, right? He's a TikTok guy. He doesn't believe in universal Naruto, so maybe he's biased against me, right? So I'll accept him, maybe someone else. I don't care who we get to judge it. I don't care if there are no judges. I'll debate you anywhere, anytime, as long as we fucking have it on stream or on recording. That's all I want. The video in a nutshell. This scan is fake because I read Japanese, proceeds to speak Japanese. I have the official Japanese novel. Got the official Japanese novel, and I can read it.
I spent like $30 getting that novel.
I ordered it on Amazon, so you guys should support me, man. Like I'm totally credible. Oh.
This video was ass.
Oh, it was horrible. It was actually awful. Let's have Kishimoto judge. I'm down. Get Kishimoto in here. Get him in VC.
Kishimoto in here.
Get Kishimoto in VC. Nice stream, bro. Thank you, Toad Man. Sorry, Noodles Dad, I'm late to the stream. You're late to everything. you missed it all. I'm sorry. Noodles versus all of Reach. Bring all of Reach here. Don't worry for those who missed the stream or nothing, because I'm going to upload this afterwards, and you guys can feel free to watch it or whatever. This stream popped off, though. We had over 100 members, like, the entire time.
It is popping off.
We need a Naruto...
Maybe
oh, go ahead.
I'm just a better Serpent replacement, can I say?
I don't know if this had to do with you, but... Man. Like I said, guys, Cyboshi is my homeboy. He helped me do the notes for this. You guys can, go follow his Twitter down below. It's in the description. You can go join his Discord. He's running Surfbone's Discord while he's away right now. So you can join there. You can join my Discord. My Discord's down in the description. Mortified Bishop, $1.99. Please debate and clap Happy on this topic. Like I said, if Happy wants it, I'm down. Like, I'm totally down. Will he want it, though? That's the question. Thank you for the $2 donut, man.
I mean, if Hapi's gonna call you out for ducking, then he's obviously got to be down to debate, right?
You want to call me a duck? Let's see if you duck now. Now it's on your turf, buddy. Ball's in your court. Let's see if you pass it back.
This Japanese is honestly pretty off too. He spent the whole video talking about Sekai and then went through this weird parallel universe shift for Isekai.
Yeah. Like trying to describe why parallel universe meant parallel world, therefore not universe. Like, it's just stupid. Like,
oh man.
Blaze Tensei, $2. I'm bored at work. Thank you for the entertainment. No problem, Blaze. I appreciate the $2 donation. Naruto King. Yeah, that's right. King of Naruto, right here. I know.
Debate him on TikTok.
My girlfriend's
Live.
been waiting me to go to Walmart for like an hour and a half now, but I just had to come in hard because I listened to this video a while back, the first 5 minutes of it while I was at work, and me and Cyboshi rewatched it yesterday. Been sick and a little bit busy. That's why it took so long to get this out. Really didn't take that long. It only took like a week, but yeah. Yo, Noodles, can y'all do a Naruto speed scale? Definitely at some point. I'm actually going to probably do some other videos first, and I'm kind of waiting to see how some of this Boruto stuff goes, because might be some good speed scaling in the future. So I kind of want to see how it gets fleshed out a little bit more, especially with this new Otsutsuki God figure. But I might do it before then. I'm not really for sure yet. Go see your girl. She's right next to me right now. She's just sitting next to me, yell at my mic. You want to say hi? Oh, no. Okay.
Shy. Come on.
You want to say hi? Come say hi. Come say Happy's a dum-dum.
Happy's a dum-dum.
No, come say it in the mic. Come say it in the mic.
No.
Yeah, just come say that Naruto's universal then at least.
Okay, Naruto's universal.
Facts.
Hey,
Facts.
Let's go.
Facts.
Let's go.
She wants me to go to Walmart though. That's why she's waiting down there.
I don't know, I like your video, so.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was fire.
I was on my phone, but I was listening to it too.
Yeah. She's spitting. That's right. Be careful. Man, Happy's Japanese was really enthralling me, though. When he started reading that page off, I was like, just couldn't contain myself, you know? Like, it was just really making me think, like, man, this might be the Naruto GOAT right here. He can speak Japanese, bro? How do we join Surfbun server? Surfbun server's in the description. It's actually being ran by the homie Cyboshi, who did this stream with me. Cyboshi, you want to tell him?
What's up?
Tell him about that Surfbun server that you controlling now. Tell him that you want him to join.
Yeah, you better get your ass in here.
Yeah.
I'm out here running it.
Had so many people on my server.
Boy, Surfbun is gone.
I literally had so many people on my server saying his debunk was good. It was literally awful. It was so bad. It was one of the worst debunks I've ever seen. And he didn't even address, like, 95% of the arguments I made in the video. Yo,
yeah,
Noodle.
He actually did, like... Yeah, he didn't adjust a single one. It was just over, like...
It was like 3 points that I had made.
Over semantics.
Yeah, and he was just semantically trying to debate and did it horribly. Like, he didn't even talk about the Hagoromo stuff. Dude, like, Hagoromo was also a pretty major portion of that video, like all of the Rinnegan statements. People calling Happy's debunk a W debunk is hilarious. Yeah, I know.
Surfboat's debating Russians.
Surfboat's debating Russians. he's over flying above Russia, debating them right now over the.
Yeah, he's like flying over with an airship, dropping pamphlets, like preaching the multiversal Naruto.
Do I play chess? I do play chess.
He actually beat my ass at chess yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Surprised we haven't got a Vitamin Man debunk. Man, Vitamin Man's too powerful. I just can't stop him. He's gone beyond my limitations. All right, y'all.
So does this mean the fact that Hapi didn't address the actual multiversal arguments mean that he agrees with them? Yeah? Had no conundrum with it?
Well, he said it was fake in the title, but yeah. Chessbot solos Goku. Noodles, respond, Dad. Do you want the invite to his server and call him out or not? I just called him out live on stream, and I can't do it right now because I gotta go to Walmart. But we will do it soon. If he wants to come talk to me, I'm more than willing to add him as a friend. Tell him to add me, or I'll add him. Either one, send me his Discord tag. I'll add him right now. Someone send me his Discord tag. I'll add him right now. He can accept my friend request, and we can set up a time and a day to stream or record. So, someone just send me his Discord tag right now. I'll do it. Put it in my Discord or type it in chat, whichever one.
Does Hapi have it in his video?
I'm not for sure. Peace out. Hope there's enough donos for the Walmart dimension. Oh, there was plenty. There was a $35 donation this stream. It was crazy.
Well, converted, it's about $2 USD.
Yeah, it's about $2. Yeah.
You can buy a gallon of milk.
That's good. Yeah, I get some milk. Get some milk. I heard you were doing OPM scaling. How's that going? I got to reread it first. I'm debating on whether or not rereading OPM or reading and watching Jujutsu Kaisen. So I'm not really. I know I got to at some point, but people want me to do OPM too. So I'm like,
I want you to watch it.
I know.
I'm your girlfriend, so.
Well, you know, there's the girlfriend and then there's my community. You know, I was just saying, like, sometimes it's for the boys. You know, just gotta choose the boys. But no, I might do Jujutsu Kaisen. One Punch Man.
Oh yeah. I mean, we gotta watch season 2.
I gotta read like all of it.
Oh.
Again.
Yeah, gotta do all of that.
Yeah, I've already read it up to like chapter 120 or something, but I gotta reread it again so I can like grab everything and make sure I have my scaling down. Also, kind of want to wait for some of the God stuff to happen in the One Punch Man thing to see what he does and see what One Punch Man can do with like Blast and all that nonsense. So. Alright, y'all. This is probably the end of the video, so if you want to give me your money, go ahead. I'm just playing. You don't have to give me any money because I'm not a fiend for that kind of thing. But I am leaving now, so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them now. Because I'm about to
read Bleach at Noodles, but I'm right here.
I will read Bleach at some point, promise.
Well, I'm right here.
Yeah, Cyboshi is the Bleach Man, by the way. He is the Bleach Man, 100%, so. W stream. See ya. Can we play chess? Nah. Okay, I sent you the screenshot in the server and at you. Just check it right quick. Okay, let's do that on stream real quick. Where did he send it? Put it in main chat. I would love to debate Multiversal Naruto with you. We can sometime, Mr. Crafty. Where'd you put it? Man, I can't find it. Someone give me Happy's little tag real quick. Someone type it in main chat. I need Happy's like Discord tag.
I say go up a little bit.
Go up a little bit. Oh, see it. Happy 11_1173533. Okay, so let's throw that over there. Let me go to DMs. Let me just friends. Add friend. Happy _117.
Someone asked if you were 30.
No, I'm 20. What was the numbers?
Hold on, I got you. So Hapi _117 numbers 3533.
Hold on. Oh. Hashtag. You said 3533?
Yep.
All right, Happy. Your move, buddy. It's your move. All right, y'all. This is it. This is me taking my exit. I'm about to teleport out of the dimension, the world, the parallel universe. I'm gone.
He's going into the Walmart VR game.
I gotta go to the Walmart dimension. I'll see y'all later. Goodbye. I love you.
Hop in voice chat.
No. All right. Say goodbye, Cyboshi.